tell us how does BYU then respond? Okay, so you signed an honor code that said that you're not going to view pornography on campus and or like just in general, and that you're going to adhere to all these rules. And then you post saying that you had a slip up.
Right.
And then which means, and other people also have slip ups. Other people maybe have more than one slip up. Maybe some people are just addicted in general.
Right.
And then in the church's policy, when you confess to a bishop, you are told you have complete confidentiality.
Right.
But then you've also broken the BYU honor code, which is not very specific on some stuff. So maybe you can tell us how the BYU honor code and the church is kind of like what they're doing to help combat pornography, because I mean it's people aren't going to say anything out of fear that they're going to get expelled.
Right.
How do you help them without Taft come in and save me? You want them to be helped, but then they're not going to help themselves because they're fear of getting kicked out.
Right.
How do you help them without enabling them?
God, you see that perfect sentence?
That was beautiful.
Beautiful sentence.
Okay, so there's a really awesome campaign going on right now. It's called Ignite the Change. You should find it on Facebook.
Hashtag ignite the change?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm going to hashtag this.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it's a hashtag. So anyways.
He's writing it down.
It's all about helping to clarify the honor code, because the honor code with its current wording basically implies that if you have struggled with pornography or if you have any involvement with pornography, that it can lead to expulsion.
Wait, you said have? Like if you just had, like past tense.
Don't quote me on it.
Okay.
Yeah, don't quote me on it. That's my understanding of it, but...
That's intense, though.
Oh, yeah, totally. And so people are terrified of saying anything about it. And luckily, I didn't pay that close attention to reading the honor code. Or maybe I wouldn't have posted about my addiction. I don't know. But
they're just waiting to out you at this panel. That's why they want you at the panel. They're like, we got her.
They'll be waiting for me with cuffs.
Yeah.
Oh, man. No, honor code wouldn't do that. Okay, anyways. So... yeah, that's like a huge misconception that that you can be expelled if you confess to pornography, because I think you can read about it on that campaign on Facebook. Like no one gets expelled for viewing pornography. Otherwise, like 90% of the student body would be expelled. Yeah. And so to address your question about like how does the bishop play in with that? Bishops, I think that it's different for each one.
Case by case.
Yeah. And that's actually something that they do mention, is that like we take every situation, case by case. Nothing is black and white. I mean, unless it's like something obviously like, I was going to say like breaking the law of chastity. Watching pornography is breaking the law of chastity. Okay, anyways. Okay, so lost my train of thought. Yeah. Bishops. I think that students who go to BYU also, like, if they've done something to break the honor code and they're telling their bishops about it, like, that is, I think, a risk that they take. And, it's by agreeing to live the honor code and then breaking it, like...
It's hard. It's definitely it's a hard thing that you sign that. You made that promise and you risk it, basically.
And so there are a lot of people who choose to live against the honor code and to keep that from their bishop, and maybe their graduating is more important than repentance or
Their life in heaven.
Their life, yeah. Going maybe they
Okay, hey, if you're struggling with something, listen, I struggle with stuff too, but I didn't sign an honor code.
Yeah, anyways, that was kind of a messy response.
No,
but
that's good. Hey, this is a serious topic. We gotta have some lighthearted.
Yeah,
we
it is
do.
serious, man.
Yeah, I can just see that. It'd be really scary to,
yeah.
like, you have, not only do you have this spiritual aspect, but you could get kicked out of school.
Yeah.
And that's big, and I could see it, like, hurting people.
But just to be clear, if you are struggling with pornography, like, don't be afraid of getting kicked out of BYU, because it doesn't happen. So.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel better about yourself.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like the bishop's like, oh, another one of these cases.
Oh, totally.
It's so prevalent, especially
Totally.
I think in LDS culture. I think just the way we were raised up, like sex is like this compartmentalized thing, and we don't quite yet learn how to embrace it as it's a good thing.
Totally.
But at the right place in the right time, and that's in marriage, you know. But yeah,
we don't. There's not a lot that I think the teachings are good, but how they teach it could be refined better to like you said.
Yeah.
Because it's not a bad thing. It's not a
not.
bad thing.
It's a great thing.
But it's seen though in those early years as if you do it, you're in trouble. And it's just like, oh, well, that means it's bad.
It's kind of like that same thing we use for the temple, where it's sacred, not secret.
Yeah.
We've applied that to sex as well, and it's totally caused way more confusion than the temple analogy has.
That's true. We do, and with the temple, somehow we're able to word it way more positively on how we teach it. Like you were never like, oh, the temple must be bad.
Right.
Because it's secret. It's, you know, you never brought up
There's
to
a time and a place for
Exactly.
it when you're mature and you're ready.
But
and
for some reason, we list consequences. Well, you list the consequences, obviously.
And it's a taboo subject with sex. And so, you know, put that secret versus sacredness on a taboo subject, and it just causes a lot of confusion and a lot of more secretiveness about it.
What do you think can be done to improve this area of pornography, either in the elements of teaching, bringing awareness, or just individuals in general? What can be improved?
That's a great question.
It is.
I know.
I know.
Hey, and he didn't have to clarify it.
I know, because it was so easy. It was so simple. I was thinking about it for the last 30 minutes.
Tyler's like, ooh, it's my chance.
Okay, so number one advice that the whole world needs to know is to learn how to have healthy conversations about pornography. Just talk about it. You know, like, stop being afraid to say the word pornography. And along with that, viewer discretion advised for the next 5 seconds. Don't be afraid to say the M word, masturbation.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's a hard word to say. You say it and a lot of people cringe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But being able to just talk about these things, talk about sex, not as... So this is especially for parents, to talk about sex frequently, and in casual settings, making sex an open topic where your kids can come and ask questions when they see something on TV or they hear something at school, and creating safe spaces and safe opportunities to have those conversations all the time.
Yeah.
I, for the longest time, thought sex was kissing, because we were watching an episode of Friends, and then, you know, they always make sex jokes, and then my parent, I was like, what's sex? And they go, oh, it's just the when they kiss. And so for a long time, I was just like, man, my parents, you know, so much sex because they're just kissing all the time. And then because of that, when I finally learned what it was, and I was like, well, wow, why didn't my parents tell me this?
Right.
You, James, my friend James, who clearly wasn't my friend, you are the man. You are the educator and the teacher. Teach me more. He goes, hey, come over to my house, and I'm going to show you a video. And then that's just where. But because I was just like, well, my parents didn't, and I'm not guilty of my parents, you know, it is a taboo thing.
Yeah.
And it's the culture
Did
that
you
they
see how
grew
I
up
didn't
in.
say the word masturbation during the Joe Rogan thing?
Oh yeah, I was gonna
See,
point
I
it
didn't
out.
say masturbation because I was like, and you gotta watch pornography, but you gotta masturbate.
Right.
But I was like, I'm not gonna say. And when you said the M word, I was like, marriage. And you're like masturbation. I went Whoever's upstairs is probably like, what are they talking about? But yeah, it is such a taboo thing in our Mormon culture. My friends didn't have a problem with this.
Yeah.
It's something, and because it's taboo, we go to other sources instead of the ones who.
And you get it from the wrong source, and you get the distorted version of it, which is the pornography online that's just degrades people, degrades men and women.
It was taught like sex is between a married husband and wife, and you do it when you're older. I've been like, boom, I click, but instead I was like, oh, sex is that.
Yeah.
And then that's all you know it is.
Oh
for
yeah.
A while.
I read this really awesome blog post about like how to avoid having the sex talk, and they compared the sex talk to like if you were to teach that same principle with reading, where they say these symbols are called letters, and you put those letters together and they create words, and one day when you're ready, you'll be able to put words together and you'll be able to read. And it's really special, and you'll be able to read one day. Like, that's crazy. But for some reason, for so long, if a kid ever even got the sex talk, which I didn't at all.
Yeah.
That's what they're getting. And
that's
it's not
interesting.
enough.
Yeah, it isn't.
Yeah. And so, creating a new generation of kids who are educated about their body parts, about how reproduction works, using the terms to describe,
arousal or experiences they have, because everyone has them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Here's a question I got. I have to play devil's advocate. Is it possible that it could be detrimental if you educate them that this could lead to worse stuff?
No, that's a really good question.
Thanks.
No, yeah. That's a big concern for a lot of people. And like
if you know about it, then wouldn't that lead you to
then pursue it?
Pursue it, yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Right. So a lot of parents will say like, well, why would I talk to my 5-year-old about this? Won't it just make them like more curious about it? And so, if you're, which I think that you should be talking about sex with your kids as soon as they're able to start talking, which.
Oh, dang.
Right. So that might, I know, let me explain. So like, I'm not going to sit down with a 3-year-old and explain intercourse. Yeah.
You were like, I saw that.
I know. I was like, what words should I use?
I'll say that word.
Or masturbation or pornography. Like, they don't need to know about those things, but they can know that, boys have a penis and girls have a vagina.
Yeah, like basics.
Exactly. They should know just like they're learning that this is their hand, this is their nose, these are their eyes, this is their
Ding-a-ling.
whatever they have. But don't call it that.
Dang it.
Using anatomically correct terms.
I'm gonna be a bad parent, apparently.
You just got shambot.
No, because this is one of those topics where I think about like when I have kids, how do I? And I'm still kind of in the taboo of like, I'm just gonna shield. But like I want to educate, and I'll probably do it like smart, but there is that desire to shield your kids and protect them, but in a better way.
If you do it right when they're young, I feel like it will make a huge difference, because kids are so malleable and they're open to learning the proper way of doing things,
Yeah.
So I think sharing it with them
and create
important.
create trust with your kid.
Yeah, that's important.
Come to me. Don't go to them.
Exactly.
Come to me.
If you ever see this, let's talk about it.
Exactly.
And don't shame them. Don't go, oh, that's so bad. But like, let's talk about what you saw.
Exactly.
Yeah, in a very open way.
Yeah. There's a really awesome resource. It's called Good Pictures, Bad Pictures. It's by Kristen Jensen from Protect Young Minds. It's all about how to talk to your kids about pornography and how to help them recognize what pornography is and what to do when they see it.
That sounds awesome.
So, yeah, I highly recommend that for kids. Or,
Good
for
Pictures,
parents
Bad
reading it
Pictures.
to their kids.
Is it a website?
There is a website.
Okay.
ProtectYoungMinds.org. Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
We could probably just talk about this forever.
I know it's an
know.
important subject,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we're getting pretty close.
Oh, we've totally gone
We've
over.
gone
the
over,
hour.
yeah.
That's the longest episode we've ever done. But hey, we always want to have a repeat guest on. Cassy, let's have you on again one of these
That'd be
days
awesome.
because that was good. I learned a lot.
I learned a lot too.
Good, I'm glad.
And do you have anything else you'd feel like sharing?
To close.
Yeah, just if there's anyone out there struggling, know that there's hope and reach out to those around you. The best way to combat addiction is connection. Connect to those around you. Set down your phone, talk to someone, and you'll find help.
I love that. Thanks so much for coming on,
Cassy
Cassy.
Hulse, everyone.
Thanks, guys.